anyway, now we shall look on the zoning. Do you remember now how we found this spot? But actually see where the heart is, and after see that we are coming right under, no, see here, I'm right under that. I have to turn it side on, lure someone. That are between the toe number 2 and 3, there actually is where we go right down. In the middle of the heart, there we found this opening. And now, you know, you were saying that I was making a hit for to open it up or to feel what's on going on. But this is actually not the treatment. The treatment is, do you roll? You roll, so you actually dissolve the waste, some is sitting there, and you roll the whole way down. And after you go back up, and then you hit. But you are supposed, directly after you are hit, to roll, to dissolve. And the second one is the same, hit, and after roll. And the third one, the same, you hit, and you immediately go back and roll the whole area. So you are sure that you actually don't move things, that you dissolve things. Things that are sitting there need to be dissolved, and you actually do this with your laser that you have here. They are one of the most effective lasers that exist on the earth.
Laser.
Yeah, laser ray. All people have laser rays out from the fingers. And this laser is coming directly from the energy system in the heart. And is a strong one. No laser out there can compete. So anyway, now remember, do I show this? I show both the right and the left side in the order they are coming. But do you do the zoning? You use the book this way, as you do the right feet first and the left feet later on. So that means you go back and do the book over, you are coming to the left. But now I go over the board picture in the same time. So you are aware of this. The next one that is coming is the lungs. And actually the first we see here is the bronchial tubes. And you know what, the bronchial tubes is difference in the two lungs. On the right side we actually have two main lines. One thing that is very important to know on these main bronchioles, we are coming down in the first line. These two have to go out from the same spot, and they always do in the lungs. They go out here and they go out from the same spot. This spot actually is, they're sitting a vagus nerve. This can shut off the function of the breathing. And if this have happened, that is very important to roll this. And you roll it in the same way some the bronchial tube is going. And you have to see that you are in meridian number 2, in the vertical line number 2, do you do it. For in the vertical line number 1, there we have the SI node. And the SI node go in this direction. And this cannot be treated in another direction. This some shut off the lungs function, or the bronchial function, is actually going in this direction. And the borderline is this line between the two toes. So SI node is in the first line, and the vagus nerve that can stop the function of the lungs is in the second meridian, or in the second vertical line. But they are sitting side by side. So that means that you have to see this borderline between the two toes and know, do you do this in the lungs, that you are on this side and you are on this other side, do you do the SA node. So they are important in the zoning to be exactly, and don't think at the matter if you are little here or little there, you know, the works anyway, they don't. And if you work these two spots in the wrong direction, you don't have the result you like to have. So it's very important to be aware of this. Anyway, on the left side, there we only have one main line out, but we have the same spot in the vagus nerve that can shut off the function of the lungs. So it's very important to actually notify this. Many students in the beginning, they made a shortcut in the lungs. They go down and they made a shortcut, they bypass this spot. And the absolute is dangerous to do this. So see as you go straight and you feel you are coming to this spot and you are able to determine where to turn. So there was, and in the bronchial tubes there is something other too. If you find the same feeling in the arca aorta som you found in the bronchial tubes, that means att det är air pollution som actually is in the blood. So always notify how it feels in the bronchial. If they was feeling the same, if you have just done the arca aorta, if you have the same feeling there, you know att det är air pollution som have affect the body. And in the bronchial tubes and in the arca aorta, you can feel very well if a person is a smoker. And you confirm it with the leg circulation for there they go too. If you find it in these three areas, you know what you have a smoker som you saw. But there can be many other things som you can put together. There was just an example. After we go to the lungs, and here you can see a zoning of the lungs. You go over the whole lungs, you go from the outside of the lungs and you go inwards. This is actually an old treatment which we have changed. But the beginners still use the old one to don't do any trouble. Here you see that we treat the lungs from here and here, and we only treat it over above the lungs, above the heart, excuse me. But the lungs go under the heart, and in many years they have been untreated. So we actually was adding a new zoning, and this is done in the bottom. There you actually zone the lungs from the top to the bronchial, from the bottom to the bronchials. And this picture you have in book number 6, you use this in the beginning, for there you don't do any mistake. But you have learned and understand where the lungs is, where the bronchial is. There you go to book number 6 and start to do this zoning instead. There is the new picture. Later on, perhaps they are coming here too, but this is saved for the new ones some don't observe how to go in different directions.
I have a question here. When you do those little lines, is it when you do the with your thumbnail?
This in the middle.
Yeah.
This is not a treatment. This is an analyze. You can actually use the nail to go in and analyze what is in the lungs. You cannot use this technique everywhere, but you can use it on this part that are drawn, and they don't do any good, but you have the information what's going on in this area. You can feel if there is an emphysema or if they have tumors in the lungs. You can feel if they actually have settlement in the bottom of the lungs. And these settlements that we actually have found in the bottom of the lungs have been the reason for we have changed the treatment. So we go to the bronchioles, from the up to the bronchioles, to the bottom from the bronchioles. So this is not really 100% new. I think that was 2007 we start to do research if it becomes better, and it becomes much better. And after the most students after the examination start to make this treatment. But the final drawing from this research is only done for a half years ago and just put in book number 2. So all of you, no, in book number 6. So all of you have this in book number 6. So they are going to be final here too. But the research is done in the zoning. They are not a short research. This is a long research and go over years before they actually change anything. So we know from many thousand clients how they have worked. So you are aware of this. It's not a quick thing to change something. They have to be confirmed very well. Even if the idea have been given from the inner blueprint that it should be this way, they have to be confirmed in sciencely too. So we know what they are not an idea some have come in the head. Can you see? The next one is the food pipe. And the food pipe, there can be many problems some people have. The food pipe can be ready to break. I was close to say that they can have varicose veins, but they cause hernia. There can be pocket, there can be wounds, there can be cancer, and they can be close to broke. So we work very carefully in the food pipe. And there are special treatment made there too, some made that you actually can have the food pipe to go back to a normal state. Anyway, on the right side there is only a little bit on the food pipe. On the left side, they go all the way from the mouth and down to the cardia valve. That means down to the stomach. For the cardia valve is the opening to the stomach. And now you shall look while I show how this is treated. We actually is coming down this way. Can you see the arrows? They go to the food pipe and all the way to the cardia valve. There are no certain things that you are coming this way and go down. You go from the side to the lung and the heart area with the food pipe. For the food pipe have this pocket, and this pocket is on this side. They have all the damage or old food can sit in there too. They have to be sewn from this side so you actually heal it or empty it or don't push it to the side that they are on the way to grow. You push it to the other. And I have not seen any other method that is able to repair the food pipe and the sewing. I have not seen it anywhere. And you know what? I have all the different examination from the European College of Natural Medicine in all methods. And they are the only method I have seen under the time that we can actually heal the food pipe or bring it back to a normal state or repair it. So very important that you are aware of this.
So do you roll the vagus nerve too on level 3?
Yes, you are coming to the cardiac, and after you go right over and actually zone the vagus nerve, which is the part of the vagus nerve some regulate the digestive system. There are two parts of the vagus nerve. The other is sitting right over here, and they regulate the digestive system too, and they have different function, which is coming up in book number 8 that we take up this lecture.
Yeah.
And after we are coming to another area. In this part here we actually have 3 different zoning. We have the solar plexus, which is sitting right here. And after we have the thymus gland, so is sitting in this area. And we have the blood circulation into the digestive system. And there we actually have a part of the vagus nerve too. The vagus nerve on this place is able to shut off the blood circulation to the digestive system. And there is actually a sign on the body so you can see if the blood is shut off. Often people who not have a good circulation have this area is little whiter. They can be in the middle of your hand, there is a big white spot, or they can be in the middle of the foot, right in here, there can be a big white spot. And the most people have not a good circulation into the digestive system, and you see it on them. So you have an early warning that you actually have to zone this well. Anyway, we go back to the solar plexus. The solar plexus, we actually hit up, release, and roll. And what's happened? Do you actually go up in the solar plexus? You release the emotion. All the emotions some disturb a person. And you roll, you actually arise the whole things. So now they don't bother the clients longer.
So what is the solar plexus then? The subconscious? What's the solar plexus?
Solar plexus, we can say that they are a nerve plexa, or we can say that they don't exist. For the truth is that there are no certain things in the anatomy from solar plexus. But you can go out on the street and ask people everywhere, where is solar plexus? And they immediately take here. All know what solar plexus is here. But this is actually an energy point.
Okay.
So you actually can read about the solar plexus in an anatomy book, but they actually say that they don't exist. But they have to take it up for all people know solar plexus. I don't think that you are going to meet the persons who don't know what solar plexus is. They are the gut feeling for something going on. Belongs to the emotional body. And this is the reason we can say this, that all energy field some belongs to the hormones or to the glands. They are what they call chakras. That means energy wheels in the body.
Mm-hmm.
But the only energy wheel some is well known is solar plexus.
Okay.
All the other, people don't believe in, even if they have it. And it belongs a lot to the emotional body, this energy field some is coming out over the glands, your different glands in the body. Anyway, we shall go to the next treatment here, and this is the thymus gland. You shall know about the thymus gland this regulate the circulation, and they regulate and give energy to the heart. So, and there are another things some belongs to this gland too, is actually the immune defense. A big part of the immune defense is in the thymus gland. The thymus gland is actually like a school building for the blood cells. So the blood cells is born, they don't know what roles they are going to play in the blood. And they have this training in the thymus gland, so become different kind of cells and have different function. So they are important to have a healthy thymus. And you can actually see on the feet how big the thymus is on a person. In the anatomy books and physiology books, that is say that after 70 years old, you don't have a thymus. And that means that they shrink, slow down, and becomes a tiny things. Many people, some actually sick or have chronic problems, they mainly don't have a thymus. But the thymus can be zoned to a bigger size and actually to have a good function and a good immune defense. If you learn to find where the thymus is and the technique to zone the thymus, you extend your lifetime. And this is what I do with these problems I have. I see that I always have the thymus strong and healthy, and it don't really matter what I have in the body, for I overcome this if I remember to always do the thymus well. And I think that we actually shall look on the feet. I shall show it in the book too later on, but we can show it on the feet first. And it means that you should come up here and we shall try to see the thymus. One important way, if you are on this side, you know, so the light coming on the windows. If you take the thumb or your nail and you actually go between the big toe and the second toe and you made a line down, and after you turn along the diaphragma line, and then you can say, now the thymus is coming to the surface. The thymus is showing right here. Can you see the thymus? So they actually tell that I have this butterfly wing. I'm actually 68 years old, so I'm not supposed to have a thymus like this. Now it's important to learn to zone it, and you actually, the blood circulation go in back here, just along the diaphragma line, and you hang on to this and you swing in, and you swing in, and you swing in, and you swing in. There is in the bottom of the picture, there you have the DNA to, you know, you come in and you roll, you come in and you roll, you come in and you roll, and you come in and you roll. There is no way to zone the thymus this way. There you are not going to have any result if you try to go straight up. You have to come in where the blood circulation is and make a swing from here and swing in and go along. And you can only do this if you actually see where the thymus is. So you should, later on when we do the practical, train this very well. We shall show it in the book too.
Okay.
Are you able to see? Here you can see the same. Here we are coming with this swing and swing in like this, for to be able to have a good result. If you actually have fever, this is the best way to slow the fever down. You don't take fever away, but they are very important for to burn out virus or things some have come in the body. But we slow it down so that don't is actually a risk involved. And after down here, you can see this other picture I talk about, that you can see how you do the DNA, and you have these rollings with the DNA the whole way in there. And they made that you actually rebuild your thymus. So each time you are sick or have some problems or stress, the thymus slow down, and you go after it, you do the zoning there, and you see that they come back in the same time, you see that you are healthy and strong again. So you actually build your strengths very well from this. So there was, we had 1 point more there. I was close to forget. But this is an important point. The autism is sitting in the corner. Here you have to see between the little toe and toe number 4, right in the middle, you go down with this line. You are coming right down in the corner with diaphragma. There you look where you have the big toe, and now your arrow in this direction, and now you shot in there. And then you open the blood circulation into the digestive system. And I remember that there was a question yesterday, and they have to do with the pregnancy. Who was this? I have this question about the placenta.
Okay.
Yeah. Here is actually the spot which need to be open for to be able to supply placenta with blood and nutrition. And this is shot off. This is the reason for that actually a baby can die under a pregnancy and don't have the blood supply to placenta, and then the baby don't have what the baby need. So it's very important under a pregnancy that this spot actually is function good and give nutrition and blood, so the placenta have what they need, and the placenta can feed the baby. So
you just roll that spot, or is that the big arrow over there?
I hit it,
You hit it.
yeah,
Okay.
and after I can roll it, but I hit it first, so I know that I have found it, and this is a very painful place to hit. And they are painful on the most people, and they tell us that the most people have not a good circulation to the digestive system. And there was we can see on them too with this white we talked about earlier. So it's good to train this well. And there is another thing too, if the uterus is tipped. You know what, many of them have a tipped uterus, they cannot have children. And do you open up this spot, the tipping go away, so the uterus is not tipped longer, so they have a good blood supply.